So, some people have questions about how this counter works. Figured I'd run it through directly, since I'm about to do it here anyway. Questions are more 5v5, but so far this has worked very well in 3v3 too. So you have MacLeod, and just to review, with her lead, anytime debuffs are dispelled, it counts towards payout, and you get debuffs very quickly, so it's almost instantaneous. Finnick also gains 100% defense, max health, max protection, and offense. She hits like a truck. And they're only reduced by 50% because you only have 2 more, which makes her even better in 3v3. In a contract, 20 debuffs are dispelled or expire. That's instant. That will never be a problem. And then all bounty hunters gain 20% defense and overcome. So, really, you have Brief Karga. First move is Sweeten the Deal to get payout, and then Whack and Mandalorian to hopefully pop Maul is the idea. Now it depends on what we open with. The Datacron, this team doesn't need a whole lot. I will use this just because when Mandalorian is called to assist, he uses his basic, which means he will always have that crit chance up, so he can use his Yeetus Gunshotus more consistent. Super not necessary, just makes the encounter a little bit more consistent. You know, if I do cough, forgive me, I'm still getting over creeping crud. So, plenty of debuffs here, 6, 7, 8, 16, 24, and there's payout. That quick. Typically I'm going to Armor Shred over on Lord Vader, just to make that cleanup a little easier at the end. Well, that's unfortunate. And you can, with the right setup, actually take out Lord Vader before anyone else even gets hurt. That didn't work out too well. That did not work out too well at all, actually. However, we can go yeet them all and make this an easier cleanup. And he still has his bounty hunter. So trying to keep him alive, we only need one more turn. And he can do some good work here. And yeet. So now this could really easily clean up to something like Mon Mothma would probably work. If you can time the cooldowns right. And get that the spell off. And obviously we're going to get roll here, but if there was just a little bit more defense, a little bit different Datacron choice, that Maul last attack was pretty close, so that Maul would not have been able to pull that off. But really, it's just a matter of I probably should have checked stats a little more closely. 5v5 is a lot more consistent because you have Bosk for another mass assist, and you also have Zam for even more stat sharing. So that makes it a lot more consistent, even though Lord Vader has a lot more stuff. Depending on what you're looking at. So, I guess for anyone else that's curious, this team here doesn't have Jedi Knight Anakin. Big mistake. I almost always use Bad Batch against this. Sometimes you have to two-shot it, but Bad Batch just consistently works, especially in 5v5. A little less consistent in 3v3, but it still gets the job done. Just gonna grab a little crit chance and defense. I know my Datacons are a little bit behind. Such a fun. Last Conquest, I just did not have time to push that hard for Datacons. I was open with the days. And yep. That's a bummer. Not everybody got stuns, but that's okay. Now, typically what I would do is, if this was Anakin and I was able to hit Anakin, I would swap over so that Hunter can get called to assist. It's going to increase stuns and do a little bit more damage to Anakin, so that hopefully his AoE is on cooldown before I kill Qui-Gon. In this case, it doesn't really matter. Alright, take that down. Now you do have to be careful with this though, because Kyle Katarn still does hit like a truck. But not nearly as bad as Anakin does. And this one doesn't seem to be exceptionally well modded. Easy cleanup. So typically how I approach these upper level GACs, the Grand Arenas, is I look for the core teams that you know you need specific teams to down. So I always look for that Lord Vader first, and I know Bounty Hunters. So I can always clean that up with something different. Bounty Hunters are going to get with it. GG has a few things. CLS, typically I'm mirroring that or taking gas after it. GLs, they can also take some specific stuff. In that case, I'm ignoring Sith Eternal because he has a few more counters than everyone else. But we'll see where we end up with that. I have not checked the top yet. So I already see Malgus there. Scoundrels, that could be a little tricky. Nothing terrible. I'm not really worried about GI. Use me in my weeds. Padme. So that's a shout out of, I hate Padme, so I'm either going to probably use gas or I'm going to use CLS here. CLS, Malgus here, that's obnoxious, so I'm probably going to see that right away. It's just, that's obnoxious. They're not fun to kill. Troopers don't really work that well with the R9 Malak. And typically I'm just going to throw in another Sith that helps to reset his cooldown, or reset his health, and then lets me throw on a cheap and easy data crawl. Not that one. Sure, that one. It also occurs to me that I should probably have that. Pick this one thing. This is obnoxious. Quiet. Play some music while you're listening to this. This is kind of a last minute idea. So I almost always link these two because they're the hardest to get rid of. Typically, Sith Eternal is going to have the longevity to be able to wait out this fight. So it just helps to ramp mastery for him anyway. It goes a little bit slower. Watt, I'm totally fine with Watt dying first. I'll save my mass assist for when Sith Eternal needs healing. If he ever needs healing. In this fight, he typically doesn't. And then I'll just throw this over on Sith Assassin for no particular reason other than to have it there. And a Mass Assist just to heal those two up a little bit. Not really necessary, but it does offer another punching bag. There's some comps you want to wait and put off ult as long as you can to build mastery. This isn't one of them. Once you can ult, you can take up 2 tanks, put it on auto, and Dark Red and revive. Geos, I'm not going to mess with. I'm just going to throw Freya at them. Oops. And you'll notice, I do keep a lot of Galactic Legends on offense. When I'm in 5v5, I only keep 2 on defense. I find that it helps me to be able to just blast through, and if I can save my GLs for the back wall, I can pretty consistently solo things. Not that they're bad teams, but just that if you're efficient enough, an SLKR can solo even some good meta teams. And that makes things a lot more consistent, and it helps a lot when you have those solo banners, kind of put just that little bit of a distance between your opponent and you. So I try and save, like, Ooh! I still have Malak. Pretty sure Malak can solo Padme. So I'll probably end up doing that. But being efficient is a whole nother level when you're up in fighters. So Geonosians, I hate Geos with a passion. I'm just going to overkill them as a trio rather than try and figure out something different because I'm lazy and it's. We're actually almost 1 a.m. And you'll find here, I have a lot of Datacrons. Typically, as I'm building, I will throw on a bunch of level 1 stuff, make some level 2 Datacrons, because 5-10% health here, 30% defense there, may not seem like a lot, but it really can make a lot of difference. Of course, I'm sure everybody knows this counter, so I'm not going to bore you too much talking about it. Yeah. Take out GBA, hit auto. The rest will fall in line pretty easily. Like, that possibly could have been done with just Treya, or Treya and Hylas. Geonosians are one of those I underestimate far too much, and I have learned to just not do that. I haven't tried this counter in a while, so I'm gonna try it. I'm pretty sure Malak can solo this, though. Sure. Especially R9 Malak. And if any of you are curious of what mods are on these tunes, and don't get similar results, the teams that I use consistently, I mod the shit out of. So, at least on this That was not what I wanted it. Sure. Hey, no stuns from me. Bye bye. That was very smart. Let's hop on about that. Padme. I think ideally you would probably target Padme first, if I had to guess. But it'll work regardless. Really? The protection up is obnoxious. Yeah, there we go. Auto. Easy. So yeah, there you go. Mallet can solo Batman. I don't know if it's as consistent in 5v5 or not, but it definitely works pretty good. So I have seen that there's people using Phoenix against Reva. Obviously, Reva is way worse than a GI lineup. I need to check. I don't have this on my phone. I don't think it matters. It's all there. Let's go to .gg. So that's 5v5 Grand Arenas is Phoenix. 3v3 is both. So, in general, Rex would gain 30% crit damage, an additional 60% max health, 25. I don't know if that matters. Let's go look and see what people are using for that. So I'm not very familiar with this lineup. Maybe it was a character. Not. I'm going to use the thing that I know works, which is real quick. Push up. Yeah. Well, I guess that can always flag on probably. This Datacron, I love it for Batman. 320% protection up to start things, get things rolling. That is lovely. So this team has a has a 98% win rate. Granted, I don't know if it's against the same comp or not. Is it? Yeah, 98% win rate. In general, you always want to try and focus down Grand Inquisitor first. Obviously, it's not going to work very well. But that's a nice thing about base. Unless you kind of get around corners, you shouldn't be able to. There we go. Bye-bye. Now this fight's going on. And again, hit it on auto. I'm not one that, like, I really don't care too much about 1 or 2 banners in protection. It's not that level of competitive like Kyber 1. I don't know what I want to bring for that yet. There's several things that can work for that. So for any that don't know, solo SLKR works very well with let's go health, sure. Works very well against Sith Eternal, because if you don't have 2 people, it will take an eternity for him to go both ways, because he can't link anybody. And I'm not really afraid of Dark Talon here. Watt is going to do what Watt always does, probably throw protection on the wrong person, because that's how he works on defense. That's why you don't put Sith Eternal on defense. Oh, he actually did the protection tech on the right thing. That's it. Typically, he's going to throw protection over on Dark Talon or something. Bye-bye. Ability block is obnoxious. So, right now it's a ramping match, and Sith Eternal ramps faster. SLKR ramps faster than Sith Eternal every time. It's not even a competition. Bye-bye. That's another one where those few extra banners from being solo will make a big difference, and especially help with drop battles. It will help you pick up some of those banners. Sure. I don't really think this too much. When I first started really running at this level of Grand Arena, I had a hard time knowing counters. There's so many counters for different things, and there's some that you really just want one. And that's where the counters page on swgoh.gg can really take things to the next level and help you figure out things that you normally wouldn't. Yeet. Bye-bye. And it might open your eyes to new teams that you're really not used to using. Like Bad Batch. I never used Bad Batch before I saw that they were awesome in the brain. The Qui-Gon. Yeah. So great for the Qui-Gon. Takes some figuring out to get it consistently, but 5v5s, it's certainly better if you have Omega, because that 5th one just dies. I always target Chewbacca first, because as soon as guard drops, the rest get a lot easier. And then focus on whatever's not stunned. And the rest is easy cleanup. Like, that was a perfect banners match right there. I really don't remember if Mon Mothma works against Lord Vader or not. And the Imperial Troopers does. Well, I'm just gonna go with what I know works. You really need this. So in fives, a good cleanup is Imperial Troopers, Beers, Piet, Dark Trooper, Range, and Shack. The Shack can clear the days. Of course, my mom. I have those in a really terrible order. This droid's R8, I wasn't so sure about. It's like a truck. You cannot go wrong pushing that to R8. Is this overkill? Almost certainly. But I got enough stuff that I'm not super worried about seeing a drop on the back wall. And I also don't have the Omnicrons for her for Java anyway. So, as far as cleanup goes, this works well. Shit, I guess I probably could have done too. See, that was dumb. Basically, you should either call to assist or basic with T. At least in this matchup. Because he just... That was 200,000 damage from BT right there. Anyone that missed that. Taking that droid as high as I did definitely elevates that team to just a whole other level. But I'm pretty sure even at R7 that team would hit like a truck. I really need to upgrade that. Newt, is that crew? That is. Separatists, Kylo, Bounty Hunter Scoundrels, Arth. Nothing here that I'm particularly worried about. So... Oh, then I'm pretty confident in that I have the back wall clear. I'm going to move up here and make sure that I have this clear. And... I'm going to do that with this. And I mean, some of these counters, like this one, or kind of just going with where I know my stuff is modded and winging it doesn't always work out. But everyone knows their roster better than anybody else, so do what feels good. That did not work out in my favor. But I got rid of Beskar Mando, so it's a fight I'm going to keep. That was fun. Why did I do that? For some reason I thought that healed. Oh. No. Wasn't totally sure on that. And it proved myself right. More confident in that one. Stay still, GG. Bye. Yep, should have probably used that one from the start. That's it. Live and learn. I remembered how to add music in the recording setup. Sorry about that. It should be a lot less awkwardly quiet. So, Negotiator, Finalizer, Techie-Tricks. Nothing crazy here. I was hoping there'd be a GL ship so I could show off the Chimera counter. That's come up frequently a lot lately. Although I really need to remember to take that off. Maybe I'll try and do this without GL ships, so you guys can see that it is possible to compete even if you don't have all the GL ships. So, Malevolence, if you don't know, has two pretty primary lineups. Sunfac, Hyena Bomber, Vulture Droid start, or Triple Geo start. When you're going against Negotiator, you always want this one first. Well, I won't say always, because only fools are positive, but most of the time. If you're going against something like Empire or Bounty Hunters, I have found that just the raw damage from Geos, gunning down Houndstooth or a BP tank stuck behind, can help as well. Really depends on what you're going against. Although this one often doesn't have a tank, which was not very smart on their part. I might have been able to do it with German troops. Ooh! That was close. There's... Then, typically what you're going to do is call Spy. The Spy is going to give you taunt elsewhere. In this case, it gave me exactly where I wanted it, on enemy. Oop, I should have done that over there. That's alright. I like to get rid of these as soon as they come up when possible, because the heals are really annoying. There you go. Malevolence counter with only one lost Vulture Droid. I think we are. This is my starting lineup. Some people start Ahsoka first. I like to be able to have that Ahsoka on reinforcement, so I can make sure it goes where I want it to, and that also kind of gives you a double cleanse doing that. Some people like to start with that so you can have that cleanse right away. Really a matter of personal preference and what you're going up against. Marauder, I really haven't used a whole lot. Truthfully, you could do this probably without Marauder and without one other ship here. But I don't underman ships very often, simply because... Or at least, I underman the GL ships, but I don't underman the other ships. Mostly because I have plenty of ships to work with. Shuttle first. That's going to be obnoxious. I want that. Ow. I'm going to call Ahsoka over on Emperor, mostly because I know that Emperor is going to keep getting retribution. Tiny intercept. That's fun. And that second ability gets like a drop. I like to reset it as frequently as I can. And then grab water. But okay. Okay, there you go. Fairly straightforward counter, even with the tie advanced. That would have been a little bit more tricky with a tie defender. But I'm guessing the tie defenders just didn't come out yet. If you have a tie defender, it should always be okay now. Despite what the game does. So this is the same lineup that I use with Profundity, but for the sake of experimenting and not relying on GL ships, I'll use it with Home 1. This is the same lineup I use in TV for light side missions. Profundity makes that way easier. You get those wire wings pop up, you just have to hit auto. But you can do it with Home 1. I've done it with Home 1 on much worse ships than this. Excuse me. That's less than ideal, but not the end of the world. As always, the focus should be to take out Finalizer as fast as possible. I was really hoping for more assists out of that. Phantom. Once Finalizer's out, this is a much easier count. But don't just hit auto and go with it, because it can still trip you up. All Ghost. Mass Assist, call him MILF. Now it's pretty safe to hit auto. It didn't even. So learning your fleet counters. Fleets really, really are a big game of rock, paper, scissors. Executrix, Endurance, and Home 1, those were the original rock, paper, scissors. Malevolence and Negotiator added, Spock and Hand Grenade. But truly, you can do a lot with regular ships. The GL ships just make it more obnoxious, and they really increase the skill level required. And I'm already at a point where I probably wouldn't have to clear this back wall, because the guy's probably not going to do anything anyway, but we'll do it anyway. Let's take Mandalorians against this. Now, if you have not played with Gar Saxon and it's on defense with my Lord Vader. That's a bummer. Well, no. If you have not played with Gar Saxon and ISC, though, you should. It's fun. I only have 2 GLs. 3 GLs. I'm not going with this. Let's do this one. Probably should have this on defense, but I'm notorious about remembering to change up my defense. Oops, that's all I wanted. See, even though Jabba's in a GL that really kind of needs at least one more person, that's still an underman. That's 4 more banners that you wouldn't have had it otherwise. Which can make the difference between a success and a loss. Night Sisters are another one of those that I despise. At least I despise going against them. So, probably gonna overkill this, but I know troopers work every time. As long as you're faster. Yep. You can do that with much lower troopers than I had. I've even had R8 Boba solo before, but truthfully, I just didn't feel like doing it. Jedi. So all these counters should be fairly straightforward. They're overkill to the extreme. So, like, this probably could have been done without JKL. But this is also another one of those teams that it's really easy to underestimate that Django and get stuck because he won't take a turn. That, or I almost lowered his turn meter. Take a turn, please. Hey, there we go. Now it's even. not just go full overkill on this? This was one of those teams that when I was first starting out in the game, tripped me up so bad. Like, I could not understand why Kylo never died. Reading the kit explains the kit. I was not very good at that. Yeah, definitely overkill. %. Leia could have soloed that, and Grogu probably could have soloed the other one. But it is what it is. What do I want to use to finish this off? Oh, sure. So while this last battle hopefully just rounds up easily, I can't imagine it'll be too difficult. Is this something you guys would want to see more of? I could potentially do, when I have time, across all 4 accounts, so you kind of see the different levels of play. How, different counters approach from different levels of play. And a little more how you can use less than stellar counters. Just go put that on auto. To make things work. Can't promise I'll do this all the time. I might be able to live stream Territory Wars, especially the weekend one. But, yeah, let me know what you guys think. This is something that's beneficial. I am starting school here in a couple weeks, so I can't promise I'll be able to do this a lot. But, I'm doing it anyway. So I might be able to live stream at the same time. Just making sure I didn't hit anything. I love that. Yep, cool. Let me know what you guys think. Came out of that with 2021. I can run through my defenses too while I'm here. This is my freeze defense. This is not a hard team to take out by any means. JMK, obviously tricky. Rogue One can be tricky, especially with the Omicron. Ideally, I would probably move these Mandos around now that ISE has gotten that buff. But like I said, I'm terrible about remembering to change defenses. I also need to pull my best Empire team off the back wall, so I have it as a GL counter. And then I do have Starkiller, Qui-Gon Jinn, which is a fantastic use for Cam, if you gotta build him for Rise of the Empire anyway. Great spot for him. Lord Vader, this is the identical lineup that I just faced, and you saw it wasn't that difficult. I really should take him off defense, but again, I'm lazy. Malgus, this really just baits out that Sith Eternal, because most people don't want to fuck with this. And it also leaves my Malak for offense, for that Padme, primarily. Rey is obnoxious as she is. If I were to change up this defense, I would probably put Visor Smart in here with the Visor Smart Datacron. If you have not seen that, whenever an enemy dies, Visor Smart gets a bonus turn and all of her cooldowns get reset. So if you finally whittle down Ben, and then whittle down Rey enough to kill her, and oh! She's back again. I got 7 or 8 holds the last Territory War. That's, Rey is very versatile and really can go with any light side team. Rey, Ben, and then any 3 that have good Datacrons to work with. She was phenomenal with Dash Scoundrel. She's good right now with the UFU Scoundrel, or the UFU Datacron, I mean. If we got a droid Datacron, the light side, she can go with those. Really can just be very versatile. Iden trips people up all the time. Mon Mothma, I would probably take off and use on offense, but I really don't need to too much. Zam I have on offense for the Bounty Hunter counter in 5s. We just don't have room for her. Here's her unique. And just so you know what she does, and why she's so crucial to the counter in 5s. Zam gains 60% increase to her offense, max out the max protection, and 5% speed for each other Bounty Hunter ally. Notice that's percent, not flat speed. So typically you would see 5 speed. If she has 100, that's 5. So everything above that's gravy. Other Bounty Hunter allies gain 20% of Zam's current offense, max out, max protection, and speed until the first time she is defeated. So I probably could make her faster, but for what it is, it's enough. So 288. Let's do that math real quick. 288, 1.05. That's 302. She shares 60, round down, call it 60 speed with the entire team. That brings... That's a lot. So... I feel like I've read that wrong. No, it is 20% of her speed. And that's also offense, max health, max protection. She sucks, other than that ability. That ability makes her fantastic. She literally goes in and dies, it's all she does, but it works. It just gets you that rolling that little bit. And then for ships, I believe I have Executor on defense, because it's still one of the best defensive fleets out there. But less and less. Profundity, you can hit one button and hit auto. So I'm not a huge fan. Really, I hope they don't get to my ship wall. I have Radis there for resistance, which does do some... I've gotten a hold on that, believe it or not. I don't know how. I guess people don't see it on defense enough, and they're not sure how to tackle it. And then the Empire, I really need to pull off, probably. At least the TIE IN and stuff. Mix that up. Maybe do Scythe here instead. There's some things that can go better, but so far I've got 2 wins, and this should be a 3rd one. Really, it's a matter of if I show up all the way, I win. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. If this was long and obnoxious, let me know that too. If it wasn't, leave a like or that sort of thing. I don't care. Whatever. Let me know. And, yeah, maybe I'll do some more of these. Maybe I'll do them live in the Discord next time. Have a good night. I'm going to put this uploading to YouTube and go to bed since it's 1:30 in the morning.